for the Youth Olympics, and I was the first Irish female to qualify for the Youth Olympics in boxing.
Unreal.
So that was probably my first biggest.
Huge, yeah.
Coming home to my little parish, qualified for Youth Olympics, and then coming home with my full kit, with Olympic crest on it, like that was huge.
Chats and Gym People, your conversational health and fitness podcast.
Right, how are we all doing, everyone? Welcome back. My voice is a bit crusty. We were at that wedding last night and now we're here. So today we've the honour to be joined by Irish boxer. She's a Cork woman, Christina Desmond. She's currently working as a guard in Dungarvan. And I got known of you through our friend John O'Riordan from the Shamrock. I believe you've eaten there a few times.
Yes, one of my favourite spots in town.
Exactly, yeah. So Johnny would feed you, so it's through him that you're here. So thank you, Johnny. But Christina, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much, Owen.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, no, so it's cool. So I think it'll be cool to chat to you because one, a female boxer, and you're obviously boxing for Ireland so much. I was looking at your resume and chatting to you before, you've done a lot in the sport already. So you went to the World Youth Championships, you've been a World Olympic boxer, you went to those, you've been national titles, European Championships, World Championships, and then the Multi-Nations Championships. And you were saying you were on the verge of Olympic qualification this year.
Yeah.
So you're level within the sport is something else.
Yeah, it's high enough, I suppose.
Yeah. And when I look at the photos of you and the people you're in the same rooms, there's some big names there.
Yeah, I have been in good circlers.
Yeah. So I feel we'll just, with this conversation, talk about you and just see where we end up.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah. So, do you want to, start off?
Yeah, okay. I suppose we'll start where it all began for my boxing career. I was always into sport. I come from a very sporty background. My brothers and sisters all would play sport. I have a younger sister and an older sister and a twin brother. We're very close, and whatever he did, I had to do. So that's where it probably started for me. He joined a boxing club in Macroom, where I'm from originally. I'm from Kilmartra, not Macroom, but Macroom was the closest boxing club.
Let it be known.
Yes, exactly, yeah. I'd be killed if I didn't mention that. I'm not a townie. So yeah, I started with Macroom Boxing Club when I was 11. He went in training for fitness. We both played Gaelic football for our local club Kilmartra, and then I went on to play for Naval Bawn, the local women's team. So when he started boxing, sure, of course I had to start boxing. I actually didn't know any of the big names. Katie Taylor would have been starting to pop her head up a little bit, but I actually wouldn't have known her at that time, but I just wanted to do whatever he was doing. So I went to the local boxing club then, and I didn't get to fight until I was 13. So they kept on putting me off and said that women don't box.
What age would he have been fighting at? Your brother? He's
my twin, so he would have been... Oh, he started at 11, sorry, yeah.
But was he allowed competitively
box?
Yeah,
he was allowed competitively box, yeah. I think when I started, my mother actually, I was Irish dancing at the time because I tried everything. She gave me the decision, you need to pick one, boxing or Irish dancing, because you can't be everywhere. And I picked boxing. I don't think that's what she had planned. But
you called her bluff.
Yes, exactly, yeah. So I chose boxing, and he had been boxing before that in Dublin and whatever, in the national championships and Munster championships and county championships. So I started at 13 with my first Irish title, won my counties, won my Munsters, and then went on to the Irish championships, and we both boxed on the same day in Dublin because they were mixed championships then, females and males, because there wasn't a lot of women boxing.
Yeah.
I'd say if there was 80 women in the whole tournament across all the weight categories, which would have been 46 kilo to 100 kilo. It would have been 100. But yeah, all the...
And when you say how many men could have there potentially been at those?
Oh, 500 or 600.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a huge difference. We were just the side piece. We were put on at the end of the shows or at the start of the shows.
Yeah.
So we both won Irish titles that day at 13. It was around our birthday, 12th of April. I can remember coming back around our 13th birthday. We both won national titles. We were the first set of twins, mixed twins, to win national titles on the same day.
That's so cool.
So yeah, we have that to go with.
Yeah.
So then it went on, I suppose. I kept on going for national championships, and I won each year. And then when I was 16, the cadet championships were on, and I boxed in them. So that was a selection for an Irish European championships in Hungary. Yeah, it was Hungary that we went to first. So I'd actually never been abroad before. I come from a farming background. We were milking cows. We never went on holidays abroad. We just did. We actually came to Clonea on our holidays.
Hey, you couldn't go anywhere better.
I'm back here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's very strange when I actually got stationed here, because I was like, wow, I used to come here on holidays. Yeah, not on holidays anymore here. It's going on my holidays now back to Cork. But how things change. But yeah, so got selected for them championships. That time you'd box against the girl older than you, the year older than you. I boxed a Lisa Buckley girl from Bray. She up that side of the country anyway, and I was losing the first round. I'll never forget it, and I just prayed in the corner. I was like, please let me win these championships. I thought my world was going to end if I didn't make the Irish team when I was, my first time going for it. And yeah, I beat her, went to the European championships, and Katie Taylor was getting to be a household name at that stage, and she was on the tournament with me. It was a senior tournament, senior youth and junior tournament. So there was 3 different categories, and she was out there training on a training camp before us, and we flew into Hungary then, and we all stayed together. That was my first time also meeting Kellie Harrington. Katie was the 60 kilo boxer, Kellie was the 64 kilo boxer, and we were all roomed up with different people. So they would put a senior, junior and youth all in one room. So 3 of us in one room. Katie obviously got her own room.
All right.
She was VIP. Yeah. She heard this now. She'd be like, oh God, don't tell him that. She was VIP. She got special treatment because she was training at the elite level compared to us. I was still in school. I was still in 5th year, I'd say.
It's wild.
Yeah, exactly. So my roommates were Kellie Harrington and Aoife Burke is her name. She's not boxing anymore, but she's from Dublin. She's from the same club as Kellie. So 2 Dubs and a farming country girl. It was different. Very different. So yeah, I remember that tournament. Kellie actually, I'm going to send her on this when this is out. She was winning the fight for a medal, or was she after getting bronze? And she took it. It was 4 rounds that time, 2 minutes, and she took an unmerciful beating. In that fight, we still laugh about it, but she got absolutely annihilated in the last round. Nearly got stopped, and came back through the airport with a huge black eye, she's put sunglasses on coming through the airport. So times changed for her because it went up the way for her, and I was lucky enough to see all her career blossom and take off. And I've seen the ups and downs, and I know from my own point of view how tough it is and how much it takes. And them losses will stand to her and have stood to her over the years. So that tournament didn't go too great for her, but I came home with a bronze medal, so I was very happy. So that was my first time abroad. My dad and brother travelled away with me, so I kind of got the graw for it then. Before we go anywhere else, I actually don't like boxing. I don't really follow it. I know all the boxers. I've met all the big boxers and the big names, but it bores the life out of me. Like, for me to sit inside in a room watching boxing all day would be my worst nightmare. Like, I can't. Seriously? Yeah. So I obviously was good at it. I was doing well at it, and it's something for myself. Like, when I kept on coming back to team sports then and playing when I was home, I actually hated the team sport aspect of it because I'm dedicated and I put my life to it. And then when other people aren't doing that, it annoys me.
The same, you can't hold them to the same standards you're holding yourself.
Exactly. So that's, I suppose, the graw for that. And I was different. That was a huge thing. I loved being different, and I loved pushing boundaries that I wasn't supposed to be doing. For a small country girl coming from West Cork, it was huge for me to be going to Dublin and going training. And then we used to train every Saturday in Dublin with the Irish team.
Yes.
So it was a lot of commitment. Like, my father would drop me off at 5:30 every morning in Cork on a Saturday morning, and I'd get the bus to Dublin. I'd have to get a taxi into the National Stadium, then train for the day and back down again.
Same day you're going up and down to Cork?
Up and down to Dublin every day. Like, that was
Dublin.
4 hours travel each way, if not more. I remember for my 18th I was in Dublin We had my 18th party on the Saturday night with my twin and my first cousin, and I travelled up that morning. I didn't have an outfit for that night. Got an outfit on my way before I got on the bus and back down again, and I was changed and ready for, I don't know, was it 6 or 7 o'clock back to go out. I didn't drink back then. So it was just like, now if you said you were doing it, I'd be like, no, wait, not a chance.
Yeah.
But that's just how it was. You did what you had to do.
Yeah, and it's probably more normalised. You probably didn't realise what you were doing as well at the
No,
time. You were just in
absolutely
your
not.
bubble, happy
No,
to
I
go
did not
train.
understand. I was going to Irish training and I was boxing for Ireland, so why not? Like, you know.
Yeah.
And
Can I just, before we move on, there's two things I'm originally wondering.
Yeah.
So you know the way you have a twin?
Yeah.
Do you think having like a male twin just made you way, way more competitive?
Yeah, 100%.
Because the way like I don't know, I feel men potentially in like the boxing world would be fighting to like way more common, higher level. But that when you're in the ring with him, you're obviously trying to be just as good as him. And so from that, you're just getting better and better by like competing with each other.
100%, yeah. We're best friends. That was probably the best part of it. Like, we started out like we'd get on so well, and then when he did do it, like, and he was winning, that was a push for me that I had to do the same thing, if not better. So
did you spar much and stuff?
He was a lot bigger than me all the time. So yeah, he's 6'3" or 4", and a little bit heavier than me always. But yeah, we kill each other at home still to this day. We're 28 now, and we still kill each other. But I can't get the better of him. And when I do, I have to play dirty. So
you learn the tricks.
Yeah, I resort to biting or something like that because he's just too strong. He's a big man. He plays Gaelic football now. That's what happened. We swapped. I got trials for Cork and that with Gaelic football when I was younger, and then he went the Gaelic football route and I went the boxing route. So we kind of had to make a decision.
Roles reversed. Yeah.
He was heavyweight, you see. So
okay, that's tough.
Yeah, wasn't really. He was a proper heavyweight when he was younger, but then when he got older, he would have been. He would have been a trim.
Yeah,
heavyweight, but that was the problem. You have to train full time if you're a heavyweight boxer in any way of it, because it is too competitive and it's at a weight that you get knocked out. So
it's a dangerous weight. Like you can't.
If you're 60 kilo and you're fit enough, you'd manage a way, but other than that, forget about it. Like, you know, you have to be full time. So he couldn't give that commitment because he was playing football as well. So he gave up football. Give up the boxing for football, and I give up the boxing for football.
You switched around,
yeah. So we are competitive. I would say that I'm not competitive, but I am. Of course I am. Deep down I am.
But I feel like that, like
rivalry.
Sibling instinct and rivalry, that'll just benefit you so much.
Oh, and everything.
It's like when you're growing up, like it will just make you so much better at everything.
100%.
Because you just push way harder than you ever would.
And we're each other's biggest fans. So like, I am a mad woman on the side of a football field, and he would be the same in the ring, like, you know. So
good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's good to have, and we get each other. Yeah, like he mightn't be boxing at the highest level, but he understands it and he understands the politics involved. Yeah. So because he's been involved in it, so he goes back sometimes in the winters. He might train for a small bit.
I'd say so. Yeah.
The club at home now is closed, but he boxes with Ryan sometimes just for the.
Unreal.
For the sake of it, exactly, yeah.
And then when you talked about like your love of boxing and that really development, what are like some of the main things that like just for you, boxing does it?
For me, just that I mentioned it's different. It's very like growing up, I always had to be the one that did different things and went against the grain. And for me, boxing did that for me, because I was doing it for myself and I was doing it for other girls that maybe been coming up behind me and that, you know, wanted to do. And then when it came to, when I got older, I went to college and I still trained during college, and then I went and got a career, and now I work and train, and I'm actually probably one of the only women that has a career on the Irish team. Yeah. Because a lot of them gave up everything for the sport, and I don't believe that women should have to do that, or men in both roles, the women and men. The boxing in Ireland, the Irish high performance team, they kind of want you to dedicate your whole life to boxing and to training. And there are other sports in Ireland, athletics, rowing. If you look at all of them, they all have high quality, top class degrees. and they're all allowed and they're afforded the time to go to training or to go to college as well as train. And I just don't feel that the boxing have their shit together with that side of things yet.
Yeah.
And
fair.
I'm trying to push for that.
Sick.
You can be both. You can do both. And I think it kind of annoyed him that I could do both and still stay up
At that top level.
Yeah, exactly. So that's probably what kept me going all these years. And obviously I was winning.
Yeah.
That helped. There was bad times. There was tough times. And at the moment now I'm not really training at the highest levels. Since I just didn't get when I didn't get selected for that qualifier, but you have to give your body a break sometimes as well, and more than the body, your head is giving your head a break.
Yeah, what, like, was that a big for not getting to the Olympics and all?
Yeah,
was that a big disappointment for you?
Yeah, look, as I said, I did go get a career, so I had something to fall back on, so that was huge. There was 4 of us going for the weight for the same weight. So they actually changed Olympic qualifying weight this year. I am normally a 69 kilo, 70 kilo boxer. For the last Olympics, that's what the weight was, 69 kilo. But they changed it to 66 and the higher weight was 75. So I was kind of in between and I was too small for 75, too big for 66. So I cut into 66 and it just didn't suit me. Yeah, I could still box at it, but I wasn't as strong as what I was at 69. So that probably was one aspect of it. But there was myself, Grania Walsh, Lisa O'Rourke and Amy Broadhurst all looking for the same space. And obviously we're all high quality boxers. We're all household names nearly now at this stage. And it was going to be tough, obviously. I'm disappointed, of course, but Grania Walsh got selected in the end for these qualifiers. They're in Thailand at the moment, and I would back her all day long, and I hope she does very well. We're friends since a young age, and we've had rivalry and we've fought all the ways up along. We fought each other 5 or 6 times. She's only beat me once. I've beat her the rest of the time, so now she's at qualifiers. But she gave up college, she gave up work because that's what they wanted from the athletes. And maybe I should have done that, but you know what? I would be 30 with no career, no life, and boxing would be over. And boxing and any sport can end in a second with any injury.
Yeah, it's good to have a backup.
So I'm happy that I got a career and I still got to experience all the experiences.
100%.
Everyone wants to make the Olympics, but you know what? It's not the end of the world. And for me, towards the end of it, there was getting to a point where my mental health was suffering over it, and I'm a lot happier now that it's a relief that.
In ways,
So I've been close enough on 3 occasions. So that was that occasion. I was at the qualifiers for the Olympics when I was 18. I got after the Youth Olympics, I got selected for the Irish senior team, and I boxed in Samsun in Turkey in the qualifiers. I actually beat the world champion at 75 kilo that year. She went on to win silver in the Olympics. I knocked her out of the first tournament for qualifiers, and I lost to the Hungarian girl. I shouldn't have lost her, but that's how it went. Changed my tactics, in the second round. But anyway, so that was the first time I went for Olympics. That was for the Rio Olympics. Then I went for the Tokyo Olympics and lost my first qualifying round against Italy the day before COVID hit. And we were sent home lost on the Sunday, we were sent home on the Tuesday from London. And then the next qualifying round I was injured for it. So that was my second time. That was for Tokyo. And then for this year time round, then for Paris, there was 4 of us in the weight. So I've been unlucky, but look, everything happens for a reason.
With regards to them picking like Olympic teams, is it so the qualifying rounds, or you go to championships where you potentially try fight to actually get your place in the Olympics, is it?
Yes. Yeah.
But before that, for this case, is like Irish boxing or whoever picks one athlete they send, does it?
Yeah. So there's, I don't know, there are 5 different weight categories. So there's 50, 57, I don't know, because I've never been that weight. 50, 57, 60, that's Kellie Harrington's weight. 66, that was the weight I was going for, and then 75. There's people you go for the national championships first, and then there's rounds of selection then after that they might assess you over training and that, and then they pick one girl out of that then to go to the qualifiers. Yeah. You can only send one. Yeah. It's a European and Worlds, it's based off of European and World Championships, but they're called the European qualifiers or the World qualifiers, so they're set out before the Olympics, and then you'd have to make I think Growing will have to make a semi-final this time round to qualify.
To get that standard,
And then, exactly. Yeah. And then she's last 64. Yesterday she won. She beat the Vietnamese girl. So it's every weight would have different allocated spaces throughout. So Europeans, through the European side, which the route we have to go is the hardest because they have all the top quality countries. Yeah. And then I'd much prefer being Australian going for it, to be honest. Like, you know, they
get your citizenship.
Yeah, exactly. Because they don't have to fight as many of the top countries.
It's an easier route.
It's an easier route, exactly. Yeah. It used to be the way where to qualify for the Olympics in Australia, you'd only have to fight New Zealand.
Serious?
Yeah. And like...
Yeah, compared to what you're doing on this side.
Australia was nearly sending full teams to them all. Yeah. But so now they're after making it the Oceania, I think.
Oh, all that Pacific Islands,
so they'd be fighting Thailand and all them anyway. I'm not sure is China involved in all that. Maybe not. They're Asian. They'd be the Asian games. So that's our route. So then you'd select one. So there has been 3 qualifiers. Last June there was the first one. I think they were in Milan. Amy Broadhurst went to them. She lost in a split decision to Rosie Eccles, the Welsh girl, and then Grania got picked for the last qualifiers. They were in Milan, and she lost in a split decision to qualify. Yeah. And then this time around, she got picked again. So it's a huge dedication, and it's a hard one because you're on your own. You're getting into the ring by yourself. If you don't have the training done, it'll show. It's not like a team sport where if one person is lacking or
you kind of
having a bad day, 100%. So that's the story of the qualifying round, and then you get to a certain time in the tournament where you qualify, and then that's kind of it then. You're selected for Olympics. So Ireland already have 5 qualified for Olympics, and they're hoping to qualify a few more this time round.
Unreal. Yeah. And so then back to your experience in Worlds and Europeans and multi-nations. Yeah. Is there some of them that are highlights for you? Some of the events you box in?
Yeah, I suppose by the time I was on teams with Katie Taylor, she was after winning gold in the Olympics.
Sick.
And coming home to, I suppose I'll start with my first biggest memory before that. Youth Olympics, they were in Nanjing. It was the first time the females were able to enter, or that they were going to have women boxers in it. Wow. And so
that's historic, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So that was I was doing my leaving cert that year, and they were on about the qualifiers and all this for the Youth Olympics. So the July I went to Hungary on my first tournament, won bronze. Then in September of my leaving cert, I went to the World Championships, got silver at the Youth Championships. Then I went on. I actually lost my mother in November. She passed away. So,
sorry to hear. Yeah.
Oh, you're okay. So she lost in November. I was due to give up boxing for my leaving cert then after I had done my September tournament.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll study now and do my all my study and all that. I'll go to college and whatever. So I was going to give up boxing and just train, not at the higher level, but just train.
Just do your own, yeah.
And then after my mother passed away, I was like, I am definitely not doing that. So in fairness, my school backed me. They let me leave school for training and everything. They were very good. Looking back now, they probably shouldn't have, but anyway. I trained right through, and then the chance came up for the qualifiers in April. It was either 63, there was only 3 weight categories, 60 kilo, 75 kilo or 50 kilo. I was sitting in between again, 70 kilo. I was probably about 66, and I tried to make 60 kilo and I got sick. It was too much.
Yeah.
So I went up to the 75 kilo. I was tiny at boxing at 75 kilo, but look, it was a chance to go to the Olympic qualifiers, so the Youth Olympic qualifiers, so why not? So I went to them and I beat Kazakhstan in the fight to qualify.
Yeah.
For the Youth Olympics, and I was the first Irish female to qualify for the Youth Olympics in boxing.
Unreal.
So that was probably my first biggest.
It's huge, yeah.
Coming home to my little parish, qualified for Youth Olympics, and then coming home with my full kit, suitcases full of Irish gear, Olympic, with Olympic crests on it, that was huge. So I suppose I made loads of friends there. I met people that are now on top class stages, but were only my age at that time. And I got to go see the athletics, the gymnastics, the swimming. It was unbelievable. That was in Nanjing in China. And it was a proper youth Olympic village. Like, it was a proper Olympic village rather. It was like everything for free, big massive area. Oh, McDonald's anytime you wanted. It was unbelievable. At 18, it was unbelievable.
Seeing that,
yeah, exactly. So that was my first biggest memory, and that was where I suppose it started for me. And then the following year I went to Olympic qualifiers. Then I was 19 for the national team, for the elite national team.
Proper,
there was again only 3 weight categories. I was a 75 kilo boxer, Katie Taylor was a 60 kilo boxer, and Ciara Smith was the 50 kilo boxer. So that was huge. I was so nervous. I couldn't believe I was going on a team with Katie Taylor. She was a household name. She'd won Olympics. Everyone knew her, and there I was, 19, travelling abroad. You know, she was 26 or 7 at the time. Not 28. So she was grown up in my eyes, and I was so nervous that I wouldn't be able to. I'd have to eat right. I'd have to do everything perfect. I was like, I'm not in for this life. It's not for me. So I went out anyway, first evening away, and Kate was like, come on, we'll go to the shop. I was like, oh my God, the shop. Like, what are we going to get in the shop? Down for chocolate. I was like, this is the dream. I was so relaxed, and I was like, do you know what? She can eat chocolate, so I can eat chocolate. She had made her name though, so she was well entitled to having chocolate. So yeah, that was my first European Championships, and as I said, I beat the world champion at the end Championships. That's a memory that will stand for me for in my mind forever. Anushka Fontaine, when they actually called out the blue corner, I was blue, and I had to look at myself like it was unbelievable. Michael Collins' dad has been my coach throughout. Oh, nice. And John, and I remember him in the corner. I started jumping up and down. He was like, "Don't you dare jump up and down in my ring when you're in your corner." Yeah, but he was delighted for me. So it was my birthday.
Why is that?
Oh, he was like, you won it. You know, why were you so? You know, you won it well. You know, you did well to win it. Like, you know, exactly. And here was me delighted with life. So yeah, that was my first championships, and I've been to so many since. I've been to 5 or 6 world championships. I've been lucky enough. I've travelled the world. I've seen places that you wouldn't really see normally.
Yeah,
that you wouldn't travel to. So it's been a huge experience. I've met boxers through training camps and world championships and European championships. I've met Usyk. I've trained with Anthony Joshua. All the top names at the moment, I would have probably boxed with them amateur at some stage. But I suppose I take no notice when
That's wild, Usyk, Joshua, Katie, Kelly, like, they're huge
exactly,
names.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, they are big enough names.
How big is Anthony Joshua?
Massive. Yeah, massive. And actually a nice lad.
He seems humble, man.
Yes, he still trains with the English setup.
Does he?
He still trains with the amateur. He comes in and spars with them and whatever. So, he's a big man. Yeah, very big man. But he probably went too big at one stage, like too muscly at one stage. But I've had good experiences, and I've been able to travel the world with it. And
it's unreal.
The last medal I won was a European silver, and that was a huge moment for me. I had been injured all summer and went on to win a European silver, lost on a split decision. So, I suppose I've grown into it, and I've become a woman really through boxing.
You've grown up doing it.
Yeah, but it's not all happy days. There's been ups and downs, there's been injuries. I've missed out on loads of family occasions, friends occasions, birthdays, weddings, christenings, all sorts of everything. So at the moment I am enjoying
the other side of life.
Yes, the other side of life, exactly. So my first trip abroad was 16. I'm 28 now, and I've more or less dedicated my whole life to it. So I suppose a few months off won't do any harm.
No, not at all. You need it.
Exactly.
And then I've always found when you take those little breaks, it'll like reignite the fire again.
100%.
You'll kind of have the itch to get back in the gym and stuff, instead of like forcing yourself in there when you know you need to train and stuff like that, and the enjoyment's not really there as much.
No, it's hard. It is very hard. Like, you know, and mentally it's very hard when you're on a high performance team, because everybody's there. It is a team at the end of the day, your Team Ireland, but everybody's boxing for themselves. There's a lot of Mayfainers, there's a lot of bitchiness, there's a lot of jealousy. So it is a very hard environment to be in all the time. And then I was doing that as well as working. So I would train in Dublin Tuesday to Friday, and I'd come home and work the weekend in a high-paced environment at work as well. So it was pretty hectic, and the people I was working with would have been off all week and they would have been fine, but I would have been training twice a day. Like, you're more or less a robot, like, you know.
Yeah, you don't have much time for you to actually just recover, process things. Yeah.
There was a few
have
few
downtime.
months that I wouldn't have gone home at all to Cork, went to see my family, because it would have just been Dublin, Dungarvan. Don't get me wrong, I don't regret any of my decisions to do both, but looking back now, I think it was chaos doing what I did. But
you live and learn as well, though. Like, now you learn from that. You'll be able to like readjust your schedule
Absolutely,
a small bit, and then make it more sustainable.
100%. And you know what? I learned to do things for myself. You know, to please myself now rather than others. Yeah. And I need to do that, because otherwise I'm going to be burnt out.
No, 100%. Especially in like your world, where I'm sure everyone's grabbing you from here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, and I suppose, as you said, competitiveness does come into it as well. On the work side of things, like, I want to be the best, and I want to do the best at everything I do, and that includes work as well. So I want to climb the ranks of that. I wouldn't have said I would have liked it at the start, but obviously I want to do well in that and have a name for myself in my career as well. So I will be able to do that eventually, but once the boxing slows down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Time and place.
So, yes, exactly. Yeah.
So do you want to talk us through, you kind of mentioned like a week in the life. So when on the run up, when you're doing elite training? Okay.
Mondays were off from Dublin. Everyone got Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. So I suppose starting Monday's nearly the end of my week when I was in that camp. So Monday would have just been pads with my own coach, or else recovery run or something like that. Normally I would have had training on a Monday night, so I would have just gone there to the club. And then Tuesday morning you'd be in Dublin for 10 o'clock training. You train at 10 onwards for 2 hours. Then you'd go back, check into your hotel. We stayed in the Carlton in Dublin. I should know. I spent months and months on in there.
Where am I?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we would have stayed there, and then we'd be back out for training again at 3 o'clock into the high performance unit, which is in this Institute of Sport in Abbottstown in Dublin. Unbelievable setup. Yeah. Like, there's loads of different sections in it. If you don't know, there's a GA section, then there's the soccer section, the rugby section, and then the gym part is where we were, and they've got 5 rings inside there. Yeah. So they've got the gym and then the rings, but the gym is for everybody. So like, there's rules in there, obviously, because everyone's high performance athletes, and the physio place inside there as well, the doctors, all the testing areas is in our area where the boxing is. So obviously all the rugby lads, the soccer lads, they're all big names, television names, were all in there, and we weren't allowed to take pictures or annoy each other. You know, we could just say hello to each other or normal conversations. But we were all had to treat each other as high class athletes. So like, it was mad. Like, you know, you'd be on a rowing bike or on a rower or on a bike next to Johnny Sexton, or the All Blacks trained with us one day. Like, huge international teams training in the same gym as you. Like, it's just mad. And I took really no notice of it until now, like, you know, So I like,
you're so grounded.
I didn't really take any notice of it until after, like, you know, and now when I look back. But yeah, I suppose it came from the fact that once Kelly came up in the ranks and Katie, like, I knew them before they ever were famous. So, you know, they're normal people, like, you know.
Yeah, you saw the human aspect of them.
100%. Like, Kelly's one of my best friends in the boxing world. Like, and if I text her there now, like, we don't even have to say hello to each other. We can just go straight into, like, straight to the nitty gritty. Do you know what's happening now? Do you hear what's happening? So, yeah, and we're I suppose it's because we both have been involved in the same atmosphere and we know how it works that we're able to do that. But yeah, definitely. So that's where we trained. We either trained in the gym or in the running track or in the gym, in the boxing gym. So you'd train again on the Tuesday evening, on the Tuesday evening, and then you'd go back. You'd be absolutely wrecked because you'd be after travelling up. My journey from Cork was 3 hours every.
Would you drive yourself?
Yes. Yeah. My parole car does a lot of road. I drive myself up, and then back to hotel. I was studying. If I was in college, I was studying every evening for 2 or 3 hours. Yeah. And then if I was at work, I was doing paperwork because I was missing out on work. So I was doing files in my So that's that. You might watch a bit of Netflix and you're asleep for 9 o'clock. you're back awake. You might have a shakeout session downstairs in the hotel or outside at about 7 o'clock, 7:30, and then you'd weigh in and eat your breakfast. You're training again at 10 o'clock for 2 hours. You train again at 3 o'clock. And in between you're just sleeping or resting, or in my case studying or whatever, if you were up for it. And then back, like that time I was so used to going to training, quick shower, back into bed for an hour. Like I could sleep at any time of the day or night. Didn't bother me. And then sleep early again. So you do that till Friday. You finish Friday at about 2 or 3 o'clock, and then you'd drive the road home to Cork or Dungarvan or wherever. If I was off for the weekend, I'd go home to Cork, which was very rare. Or I'd stay here in Dungarvan, it'd just be easier. But I never had a full weekend off. So other than that, it was straight back into work. I could be working the Friday night for a full night shift, and then Saturday night shift, and then the clock would go back again, and we'd have to start the whole week again. Yeah,
that's tough on the body, man.
Very tough, And I don't really train. We do 2 days, 2 nights. I don't really like training on my night shifts because my body's just exhausted, and I don't believe in pushing the body.
100% when you know.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the week in the life. But
that is wild.
When it's busy,
100%. Yeah.
Now it's gone a bit lazy, and when I come home at 7 o'clock in the evening, I'm like, oh my god, training? Absolutely not.
After those few months of doing what you're doing, And what does the training look like then? Do you do like a lot of strength conditioning, a lot of boxing? How is it breaking up like during those days?
A lot of boxing when we were there. Tuesday morning would be boxing. Tuesday afternoon would be strength conditioning. In the gym, we'd have this, I remember his name, John Cleary's his name. Yeah. He's our strength conditioning coach in Dublin. Yeah. So he'd have a program made out for all of us, and we knew the program anyway. Then we would have done that on a Tuesday evening. Wednesday morning, none of us would sleep Tuesday night with the fear of the track session in the morning. Everyone hates track.
Is there dreaded sessions? Yeah, that's it.
Everyone hates it. Oh my God, you'd be waiting for Wednesday to be over, and if you could at all get off until Wednesday day, you wouldn't come up until the afternoon because you hate the session. They're 800
what are you
meters,
doing? 800 meters?
As fast as you can. Most of the time. Obviously to be split up. I love the other ones. I loved when we used to do shuttle runs. I absolutely love them. But I absolutely hate 800 meters, because there's fellas on the team, like you'd have to do with the fellas, and like I used to do it with Michael Connon, Paddy Barnes, all of the big names that are gone, Sean McComb, Kurt Walker, all of them. And Michael Connon could run in the Olympics, like he's that good, they were hitting huge times, and I was only doing average, but for me, for a boxer, that was good, but very bad considering
in the grand scheme
of things. So I hated running, and I hated coming last, obviously competitiveness. And I was always last. Jeez, I was always last. I hate running. So everyone dreads the track session on a Wednesday. Then you'd box again that evening, and then you'd box again Thursday morning, strength conditioning Thursday evening, and then boxing and conditioning session then on a Friday. Yeah. And you can mix it up. Then you might get another run in on Friday morning. It just depends on what week it is or where we are on the week. So then you'd have another strength conditioning the weekend when you're home, and you do your own running then. You'd be fit. Good training. Absolutely. My body don't know what's after it now, because it's lucky to get 3 sessions a week now. Exactly. Normally you get that in 18 hours and when I was training heavy, but once I get back into it, hopefully it'll tune back in.
And then out of curiosity, so you obviously hang around with all these big names like Michael Conlon, Katie, Kelly, you've seen Joshua Usyk, and then training alongside Johnny Sexton, All Blacks. What are some of the things you've kind of learned from just being in same rooms with these people and getting to know them?
We all have the same struggles. We all have the same ups and downs. Everyone has a family at home to go home to. None of them are absolutely some of them are doing well for themselves now, since they've gone on to pro games and all that, but no one at the time knew where they were going to end up, and everyone was fighting for that same goal. So I suppose that was the one thing, that I don't know them as the Usyk or the Anthony Joshua. To be fair, I didn't train with Usyk, I was just a tournament with him, but they weren't who they are now
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
So they were just the same as myself or same as anyone else. They were just going for a tournament, going for a win or whatever. So now knowing them, obviously I know them as normal people, and like Katie, in fairness, like she'd cut the legs from under you, like, she's funny, she's very funny, but everyone says, she's very boring. No, she's not. Like, she just, that's her in front of a camera or in front of media, it's totally different. I guess that we were all going for the one goal. We were all there for the one reason, and there was no one better than anyone else. And I suppose I was just lucky to be involved in that and to be in the same circles.
It's class. Yeah. You're very grounded.
Yeah, I don't have to be.
Yeah. No.
I'm just still a guard from Dungarvan now, and a country girl from Cork.
Yeah.
I'm not better than anyone else or bigger than anyone else.
No, but it's huge. And I'd say that's a big thing though in general, just in boxing culture too. Like what the sport is about.
Oh.
Or is it?
No. Boxers are tough work. I'd be the first to say.
Maybe it's the farming background in you.
Yes. Yeah. No, boxers are. You have to be cocky. Like if I was if I was any bit more confident or cocky, like I'm not a confident person. Like I'd be always putting myself down, but deep down I do have a belief in myself, and you need to have that.
Yeah.
But boxers show it too much, in my opinion. Like they're, the attitude and the arrogance, and that comes with sometimes the family put that persona, of a person. But no, you should see where I come from. I'd have to be grounded. My family don't give me any credit. I come back with a medal, and it's like, what the fuck? Like get back to work. The farming has to be done, or something has to be done. And I've been thereabouts, but like whenever there's tough times or whenever there's bad times, they were always there to pick me up, and when there was no one else there. So I suppose my grounding comes from them.
100%. That's good. And how were the tough times? Were they just like injuries and stuff like that?
Injuries, mental health, there's a lot of that side of it. It is very tough on the head because you're at a high level, everybody's in it for the same thing. Boxers struggle a lot with their weight.
Yeah, that's rough.
I absolutely hate it. Like, not that I have to do any big weight cuts because I'm only about 3 kilos over, but the thoughts of cutting weight. And if I had Kellie Harrington sitting here in the room with me, she's normally my roommate. Like, we hate our lives when we're trying to cut weight. Like, and she's worse than me because she's cutting into a smaller weight. And there's been times where I'm nearly her help when it comes to because I'd be at weight. I'm always at weight for tournament, but she doesn't. And then we've woken up at 5. The weigh-in would be 7 to 8 or 8 to 9. We've woken up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and put on layers of clothes to train. I've had hair dryers underneath duvets trying to heat her up, trying to sweat it out. Madness. And I've had her roar at me I'm not boxing, that's it. You'll be fine, no panic. But I've a lot of memories with her, and I've been lucky enough to share them with her and
to go through it together.
I actually sorry Kelly, I've not read your full book, but I believe I'm in it a few times. I haven't got around to it. It actually came out and we were in the same room together. The same day that it came out, we were in the same room. I was like, I must get that, I have it, 2 books of it, but I just haven't read it. But there's been a few stories in it. We've had great memories, weight cutting and all that, but at the time they were not great memories. We were
100%. It's like that. It's funny to look back on.
Yes,
and it's great stories, but at the time it was not like that.
No, every second week we're giving it up. That's it. We're done now. Not boxing ever again. I going into a fight even my biggest. If I'm talking negative, if I'm that's it. Why do I do this? This is terrible. I'm the worst in the world. I'm not doing this again. The few hours before a fight, I'm ready. Because
seriously, that's your go time.
Because I'm nervous, so I'm I need to get out of here. I don't need to be here. Why do I do this? I'm never again boxing. And then once I win, or if I lose and it's over, who gives a damn? When's the next fight? That's it. You know. But I that's my go-to every time that I'm nervous is get me out of here. I don't want this, like, it's just a horrible feeling waiting
That's fascinating.
to get into the ring.
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah.
and, I've told coaches, like, I can't remember, but I've been told in the corners when the going is going tough, I've asked to come out of the ring, like, get me out of here. Like, first, second round, I've asked in the ring, in the corner.
Yeah, to get out of there.
Yeah, there was one fight, World Championships in Ulan-Ude in Russia, and they had to, you know, in the pro fights now you could hear the corners.
Oh, yeah.
And you could hear the corners on the live stream, and I can't remember what it was, but there was a quote on the newspaper the next day of what I said in the ring. Can't remember what it was, but it wasn't nice now. It wasn't. I won it anyway. I was fighting Canada. I beat her, but my God.
Something along those
lines.
lines.
Yes, yeah. But you're just, it's like you're numb or something. Like, it's just a totally different experience.
Yeah, so I assume your coaches are nearly pre-warned.
Oh, they
that.
take
Yeah.
no notice of me. They're just laughing at me, like,
Yeah, in your head, when you're saying that, do you kind of know deep down that you're ready? Or are you genuinely thinking, like, I don't want to be here?
I know once I hit, like, we do a round of pads or 2 rounds of pads before I go in, I know how I hit the pad, if I'm going to be good or not. And my coach will as well. Tom Power is my club coach. And if he's in the corner with me, he knows by my characteristics and how I'm going, how I'll fight.
What about those days then where you're not hitting them as you should be and stuff?
He wouldn't point it out, but we both know. And then he'd just pass a comment before I go in, like, look, whatever happens, happens.
Okay.
We're here now. Just put it
yeah.
all in, you know.
Yeah,
But we both know.
And does it usually go that way?
Yeah, like, lucky enough, I've not taken a bad beating ever, to be fair.
Yeah.
I've not been in the ring where I shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
And I've been able to hold my own each time.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing.
Yeah.
And he'd tell me straight out, like, you know, I have a habit of saying, yeah, I'll fight next week, no problem, or 10 weeks time, I'll do that fight. Then I tell him and he's like, you won't be ready, like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah.
And he'd tell me straight out, like, you're not ready. Like, he knows by looking, he's been my coach since I was 19 or 20. He knows by looking at me what weight I am.
Yeah.
If I'm ready to fight, if my head's in it, like, he's the first to tell me. And he would back me against anyone in the world, like, 100%.
Yeah.
And
but that's so good to have someone like that in your corner, and someone who truly, like, understands you and knows about you and how you work.
Now, he's 2 little girls box, and I remember them being born and them being around me in the ring when I was training with him, and they're fighting at national championships and Munster championships and county championships. They're only 13 and the other girl's only 8, but she's still training.
Yeah.
And for me to see them now and they look up to me, it's just massive, and their dad's still training me. So it's
going full circle. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he's a pro coach as well. He was Nolly Murphy's coach. He's a boxer from Cork, boxed out of America. So, like, he is experienced and he knows what he's doing, and he's a grower for it. Like, he's the love for it. So we can just ring each other, and I'd give out to him, he'd give out to me. You know, it's just that's how it is. But
yeah, it's good.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the, I suppose the mental side of it is the hardest part of it. I will say that.
Yeah. And how do you find then, in relation to, one, it's a sport where you get hit in the face, and 2, just in relation to, like, ring walks and stuff? I'm always fascinated what's going through people's heads during that ring walk.
You're not thinking about what song's on anyway. You don't care who's there. You're in your own mind. You're in your own head. You're waiting for...
In relation to what in your own head, though?
I guess I just want my thoughts.
Yeah.
This is all I want to do when I get into the ring, is once the bell goes, get into the centre of the ring and hit a backhand. Like, I'm southpaw, so my backhand is my left hand. That's my strong hand. If I can get off a good backhand, I'm happy.
That's when you know you're on the road. Like,
I would be the first to say I am not a technical or tactical fighter. I'm strong.
Yeah.
So, for me, I've been in with girls that I shouldn't be beating. On paper, I should not be at their level, but I'm strong. So once I get off a good backhand or a good shot, they don't want to know about me. You know, their whole thing falls apart.
It's because they know what's in, like, potentially if they get hit again.
Yeah, if they open themselves up.
Yeah.
So once I get, straight away, once I have a good shot got and I know it's connected, I'm settled.
You're good then, yeah.
So that's all I'm thinking about getting in, and to be honest...
So when you're walking, that's what's going through your head.
Exactly, yeah. And there's, cameras in your face, There's lights. It's very hot inside in any ring because of the lights and the cameras and all that. And then you're just, there's just stages you get in, you have to get your helmet on, then the referee checks. Then it's very fast. It does happen very, very fast once your ring walk is over. But yeah, I don't like to showboat. I don't like to look at the crowd. I don't like to think or look at anyone else.
To me, it sounds like your head's in a good space if you're thinking about just what's coming and what's ahead of you.
Oh no, if I'm looking out over the, if I'm looking out and I'm seem to be enjoying myself, like
it's not
everybody knows.
Watch
it. Like my father would be the first to say, like, he's right raw, and you did too much looking out over the ropes. You were doing this and you were doing that and you weren't thinking, like, says you, like, when have you ever been in a ring, like, like we're not boxing background, like, so anyway, I just have to let him say what he wants to say.
He has to give his 2 cents,
And when you're in the ring, you don't hear anyone else around the ring.
It's fascinating,
only your coach.
Does it come out clearly? Yeah,
clear as day. That's who I hear. I might hear my dad because he's over everyone else, and I will hear my brother if he's in the crowd. Nobody else. I
wonder why that is. Is that because, like, they're just voices you recognise within all the chaos?
Yeah,
already?
and you're in a high pressure zone, I'd say. So your head is just picking up what you need to hear. So, like, my coach will be telling me, and if I'm after getting a good shot off, or if I'm after getting even a few combinations off, I'm more relaxed because he'd say, "That's the shot, do it again." That's the shot, do it again.
Yeah.
So I know each time he says that,
you're going good.
I'm after scoring.
Yeah.
So but yeah, and then sometimes you would know the scores in between rounds.
That's what I'm wondering. Are you aware of, like, where you are?
I don't like to be told.
Okay.
And then sitting down or standing up, it's your choice. My coach Tom is like, you do not sit in the ring. If I'm not there, do not sit down in the ring, because it takes me another 30 seconds to get going. Once I get up, I'm like laxy daisy about it. He's like, you stand because you're ready to go then. So I normally stand, and then when I know by the way he's talking to me.
How you're going.
How I'm going. But I don't want him to tell me you're up or down.
Yeah.
Because then you're on the back foot straight away. So, but I know how he's talking to me. Whether I'm up or down.
Yeah. But it must be hard as well to, like, regardless of not knowing, to set the level yourself. Because it's like, if you know you've something to chase, you're obviously going to push harder.
Yes.
But if you know you're kind of up, you might have the tendency to go easier.
Oh, I'm never up in his... Like, I know he's more settled if I'm on top. But no, there's never a time where I'd say... I'd never take it for granted. Because I have once or twice taken girls for granted and said, she'll be grand, like, I'll beat her well, like, no.
Yeah.
It's not easy. They're the toughest fights. And you know who I rather fight? High-end talented girls. Because, no offence, but the least trained or the least experienced girl is the hardest to fight. Because there's more slogging, there's more tussling, and when it's clean punching and it's like more like a chess game, where it's in, out, do this, you do that, I do that.
Yeah.
It's more clean cut. The hardest fights are the ones that are inexperienced, like, and you could get hurt.
Yeah,
and you actually look bad.
Yeah.
The better the experience and the high quality boxer makes you look better.
Yeah.
So I prefer that, but sometimes it can be a slog inside there. It's just a hard graft, like,
That's what, and like coming towards the end of rounds and you're super, super tired. You're like getting punches thrown at you. What's it like?
You take no notice. I don't actually, it's
just so normalised to you.
Yeah, I can't pinpoint moments that I've been boxed in the face. I know it's happened, but when you've adrenaline pumping through your system, you don't feel it. Like.
But have you ever been at stages where you feel you're just super gassed in the ring?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
How's that?
Yeah. Not nice.
Yeah.
No, it's not nice. And like, you'd get in from 30 seconds to go and you're like, what? Like 30 seconds? And that 30 seconds is the longest ever. Like, or I have been in where I've taken shots where I'm like, right, Tina, take a step back. Like, you're seeing double inside there. Like, I have been in there, but it's just how you come back and not show it. You can't show it.
Yeah.
But I've been in rings where I've done it to a girl, like the European final last year and a half ago. I had a hard, tough, I was after hitting with a backhand I knew I was after hurting her. So I went back on her, I went straight back on her. Now I wish I did more, but I have a nice side in me and I don't.
Don't have that killer. Yeah.
No, don't have the killer instinct. And I wish I had more of a temper, because, not a temper, but I'm a bit too nice, a bit too calm.
Yeah.
I wish I had that in me. I do to a certain point, but not enough. I'd be world champion if I had that.
Yeah.
I'd come yet.
Yeah. Hey, you never know. And then after a fight, what's the energy dump like? Are you just wrecked after it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then if I'm tight on weight, you might have to put on a sweatsuit straight away and go into an hour and a half session to cut weight.
For the upcoming, the next one.
You might have to fight the next day, weigh in the next morning. So I'm glad when there's a day apart in between them.
Yeah.
After win or lose, you're just relieved that it's over. Like I believe a lot in fate. I'm not really religious, but I do have a lot of faith. Obviously I've a few looking over me up above. I believe that my mom is with me in the ring. I just ask her, get me out of this ring safe.
Yeah.
Uninjured, safe. Both of us. Me and the other girl. Because obviously I don't want to do a damage or hurt anyone else.
Yeah.
So once that happens, I'm relieved. Win or lose, obviously I'm delighted if I win. But it lasts 10 minutes tops, because you're straight thinking, who's next?
It's on to the next.
The girl
one,
that you might be fighting next could be on
straight
after you.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see her. My coaches will. But that's all that you're thinking of. What's next? Who's next? What's next?
You're just in the rhythm.
If you lose, then you're disappointed, obviously. But again, I'm happy to be getting out of that ring uninjured and no big back, upset, So I've been the side of bad split decisions, good split decisions. You're pissed off sometimes at the ref, you're pissed off at the judges. That's sport. It's in every sport. Yes, is it a bit corrupt or a bit more than other sports? Absolutely. The sport is absolutely riddled. But
you'll never forget, I always think that just Michael Conlon decision. Yeah.
I was the first boxer after that Olympics to fight in European Championships. We had European Championships the following October, and I lost in a split decision to France to get to the European final, and they said it was off the back of that decision, what he did after the fight.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You were just a fall guy.
I'd never say this, but I was after just one hand would have beaten her, like all around me, left hands all day long, and they gave her the decision, and there was uproar, and I don't know, was it said at the top table when they went up to complain about the decision, and she had the head coach said, you can't keep on carrying on like this after championships, but it is a bit like that. You know what?
Yeah.
I had won a bronze medal at that stage, so I didn't mind, but it's annoying when the girl I would have fought in the final, the English girl, Lauren Price, she's world champion now, pro world champion, twice world champion. She was in the final of the other side of the other side of the draw. So, I've been looking at the Sandy Ryan. She's another pro boxer in England. She is pro in about 3 years. Missed the last Olympics and went pro after that. I fought her in World Championships in Ulaanbaatar. She was huge at the time. Like, she had probably 40,000 followers on Instagram and all.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was like, this girl's going to hammer me. Like, I'm dead. Like little Irish girl and against this girl from England. And I beat her. Big upset.
Unreal.
And that was her last amateur fight.
Serious?
She did get picked for an English team after that. And now she's
gone pro. Twice
world champion pro.
So when you hear that, did the pro game ever cross your mind?
Yeah, I do think I will do it at some stage. Just to say I did it.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah, fair. Take it off the bucket list.
Not many in the world can say that, or not many in Ireland.
Sick.
Not many in Dungarvan or Macroom either can say that. Female.
Definitely not here anyway.
Pro boxer, no. I've been approached. I've been asked, do I want to go boxing professionally? I have a career already in the guards. I do think I will go eventually, but when, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it'd be sick.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, exciting,
even if it's just 2 or 3 fights for the crack of it.
100%.
Like,
and
if I got on one big show,
Yeah, yeah.
Like one of the big undercards.
Get on Netflix with Katie Taylor.
Yeah, if I got in one of them, I'd be delighted. But
That'd be sick.
however, it's just a very, obviously, backwards sport as well. Like, you know, there's a lot going on other than boxing, and there's a few looking at promotions wise, and I'd have to look at
that side
them
of it.
tightly, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. Hey, who knows
Pending,
what's ahead?
I'd want to start copying myself on now and doing something if I did want to do it, but I'm enjoying my time off.
Exactly, you need it.
Yeah, exactly,
You need
yeah. I'm enjoying not doing anything.
Yeah. So I know you've a Kristen in, so I won't hold you too much longer.
No panic.
So a few more, but like, what are some of the things you've kind of really learned about yourself just through this whole process? Because I feel as well, boxing's such a sport where you have to know so much about yourself and things that work for you, things that don't, and just kind of really what you're about.
Yeah, I know what I like and I know what I need and want. The biggest downfall I have is that I do too much for others and don't think about myself. Like, if I should have probably just went fully. There are weeks and months in my life where I wouldn't look at anyone else, do anything else, only boxing, training, that's it.
Yeah.
But I probably should have been more disciplined in that side of things. But I know I'm headstrong. I'm very headstrong. I am a bit cold to normal life. Like, I kind of take anything sad or anything that's upsetting, I just take no notice of. But if you get me mad, I can't really speak my mind because I just get angry and I cry. Like, so I know that there's ways and means, but the biggest thing for me carrying on boxing and carrying on my career was to show that you can do both and that you are able to have a career alongside having a high performance sporting career. Not even just for me, because I know I was trying to break boundaries, but I want to show it to other girls growing up. Boxing is a low class level of sport. A lot that are in it aren't coming from good backgrounds, but I want to show that you can be working and doing it at the same time. So I suppose that was my biggest thing, was that's what drove me, and that's what I've learned, is that I'm headstrong and whatever I put my mind to, I'll do it.
When did that kind of driver come into play?
I always wanted
from the
to do
get-go,
college.
you
I
knew.
always wanted to do both. I just didn't understand how much time it was going to take in my life. Like, sure, I didn't think I was going to be still boxing at this time. I keep on saying, if I'm 30 and boxing, like, put me down. But it's getting closer to that time. I'm
really
28
don't.
now, and I'm like, oh God, I don't know. But now I just have seen that I'm going to try and, still live my life and go to all the things that I can.
100%.
I don't really drink too often. When I do drink, therefore it's an occasion, but I don't mind going to things without
needing it.
No, I don't need it. So I've learned how to fend for myself and stand up for myself, I suppose, in more ways than just
in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. And I've had my kind of life. I'm not famous at all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not famous, but I've always been known as the boxer, and I've had to grow up with that name.
Yeah, it's attached to your identity.
Exactly.
So it's just forging your own identity.
Yeah, I don't mind that either.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad,
And so advice to girls starting off, looking at you, think...
It doesn't matter what sport you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it being sport or not. If you want to do it and if you want to put your mind to it, just do it. It will pay off in some way or another. I wouldn't be where I am today without boxing. Although sometimes I wonder why I dedicated my life for so long to such a cruel sport, because at the end of it, I didn't believe it was right. I was told by email that I wasn't being selected for a lifelong dream.
Yeah.
That for me is absolutely cruel.
Yeah.
And I still haven't got a phone call to clarify, to tell me straight. Obviously I've spoken in the circlers and I've been to training, I've been up there, but I haven't been told, and that for me is just absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
So yes, sometimes life can be cruel and these things happen, but keep on going and keep fighting for what you believe in.
Yes.
And if you want something so bad, you will fight to get it and you'll get it.
No, unreal. That's a good message.
Yeah.
And it's good, like, you literally are embodying it.
Yeah, well,
what you're
people think
doing.
I'm mad. Like, they actually do. Like, you know, I am mad, actually.
But you got to be some way
I
mad,
am
you
mad.
know?
You'd want
You
to
gotta
be
make
mad.
some
Yeah,
way mad.
absolutely. Yeah. You'd want to be mad. But I've been lucky enough to have the support of my family, my partner. He's absolutely sick of me. Sick to death of me. I have one goal and then I have another goal, and then what if I try this as well as it? And where are you going to get the time for that? Like, you know, I want to join the RNLI out in Ring. I want to be part of that. I like my working week. I probably put 20 hours a week onto what I already work, just doing other bits and bobs, like, you know.
Yeah.
And then last year they had a team for the Tag Rugby. Dungarvan Rugby Club were running a tournament for all the places around Dungarvan. Businesses and all to inter-teams and teams and all to inter-teams. And that didn't last too long for me because I was a bit too boisterous. It was men and women. You had to have 2 women on the team at all times. I was a bit boisterous and rough, and I ended up with 12 stitches or 10 stitches over my eye in the second game.
Tag rugby.
Yeah, tag rugby. In the second game, I'm too competitive. It was a team of guards, and I just remember we were playing over in the clubhouse here.
Yeah.
And we were playing a young team of young lads, and he was coming at me, and I just stood like my ground, and I got an elbow into the eye, and I ended up in A&E for 20 hours. And split open, and never have I got a cut as bad in boxing in my life.
Yeah.
And there I was in A&E for tag rugby. Like, I was actually kind of half embarrassed, like, because I went to Cork, and there was a few of them in there like, don't you box? I do box, and here I am.
Yeah.
But so that was nice, and I had to actually, I was in training at the time in Dublin, and I actually, I couldn't explain
So
to
that
them.
went down well.
Yeah, so if any of the boxers are listening, they all think I got it at work. I had to tell a little
That
white
was
lie.
work.
That was work. Well, I had to take a few weeks off
Volunteering
and from Dublin, and then when I went up, I was like, I actually can't spar because of my eye. And they're like, what happened? I was like, oh, jeez, it was just work. It was really rough.
It's easier.
I couldn't tell him it was tag rugby. I first of all murdered that I was playing a different sport.
Yeah.
Second of all, it was only for the crack anyway, you know.
Exactly.
But second of
tag
all,
rugby.
Tag rugby.
Yeah.
So
it's more the ego, you know.
Yes, that's going down a treat. Yeah, still. Yeah,
Sick.
That was last year.
Yeah.
So a lovely scar over my eye now. So I look tough. I look like a boxer.
Who would have thought that's how you need to get it? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what's next then?
World Championships in October or November after the Olympics. So I'll probably start back into proper training in the next couple of weeks. Probably. I better start training.
When you start doing that, will that be all self-led? Or would you go back up to Dublin a lot?
Oh, self.
Self.
Between me and my coach and
Yeah, okay.
And then I'll get back into the Irish team then, Irish performance setup, eventually, probably July, end of August, maybe when they're just back from the Olympics. And then that's the plan at the moment.
Right.
I will have my own club shows and tournaments around that I can go to myself. But I just have to pin them in now and get going on them.
Yeah.
And other than that, I'll see.
Sick.
So
no, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Now at the moment I'm like, no, boxing's, I'll finish up in that, but no, there is still a grow there, and there is still things that I want to tick off.
Unfinished business, yeah.
Probably not Olympics. I won't wait around for another cycle. But I actually, my biggest thing was that I wanted to make the Olympics for my dad.
Yeah.
Because he had put so much into me. Yeah. And when I came home and I was like, I didn't make the team or whatever, and his attitude was like, and once he said this, I actually was like, oh, great, thank God. He was like, you know, what about the Olympics? So be it, like, you didn't make it. Like, we're so proud of you anyway,
sick,
you know. And
sick.
once he said that, I was like,
yeah,
I'm grand. You know, I'm fine now. I can relax.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel that was the pressure that no one else, only that.
Yeah.
I wanted to do well for my dad and my family.
Yeah.
And all of them were like, why would you want to be involved in that? Like, it is an absolute horrible atmosphere to be in. Yeah. Because you're at such a high level, and my mental health was struggling. Yeah. And I needed the break. Yeah. And now when they're like, you're a lot happier, I'm like, yeah. What's it worth?
Yeah, 100%. So, and it's cool when, like, I don't know, the people that you love. Because I feel sometimes you have the expectation that you need to prove something for them. But really, at the end of the day, all they have is your best interests at heart.
Oh,
like your health and happiness. Like, exactly, yeah.
I was at a tournament and I rang him saying I wanted to come home, which I do regularly. But every night, I'm done with this. If I'm in a training camp, I want to come home. My dad's like, yeah, just kind of play it. Like, and I'm like, okay.
You call my bluff.
Yeah, I won't. But yeah, if I did come home,
to them it'd be nothing.
Absolutely,
which is huge.
There was once time I didn't get picked for World Championships, and I was in Italy at the time in the training camp, and they were like, you have to stay on now and train like for another week, even though you're not selected for the tournament in 2 weeks' time. And I was like, absolutely not. So rang home. I'm coming home. With someone collect me in the airport? Absolutely. Got on a train, got on a flight. I was home in 24 hours with a team selection.
Yeah.
And life resumed.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I was back in family life, and who cared
life goes on,
who cared what had happened in Italy? I was home.
Yeah.
So in my safe space. So
unreal.
Yeah.
Christina, was there anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, I'm happy enough.
Yeah,
I probably talked too much there. It was comfortable. It was
made
nice
my
chatting.
croaky voice a lot easier. Anyway.
Yeah, you're okay.
But no, thanks so much for joining us.
No problem.
And I'm
Thank you
actually
for having me.
fascinating. Yeah, like, because here in your busy schedule, at least we're glad we got you on a downtime.
Yeah,
I felt guilty otherwise.
It's still busy at the moment with other things, but with life, and it's great.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm an auntie now since last week, so that's where my main interest is in at the moment. Is
unreal.
Yeah, living my auntie life. So.
Yeah. I know it's good to see you living your life and doing what you want to do.
Yeah,
and I'm excited to see what you do boxing wise, what you do Garvin wise. I'm sure we'll see you around here and whatnot.
Lord.
But thanks so much for joining and giving us your time.
No problem. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks everyone for listening. That's sweet.